Hey everybody, it is Thursday on the Breakfast Club, and today I want to talk about something that's been plaguing my life recently, which is the GRE, sorry, I think it's backwards, and standardized tests in general I kind of want to talk about. If you have ever taken a standardized test prep course of any kind, like a book or a class or whatever, you will know that to study for a standardized test, you're not studying on how to actually read more effectively and do math problems more effectively. You're studying how to take this specific test. And the people who do the most well are not necessarily the smartest, or the most informed, but they're the people who know how to take this test and know all the secrets and all the tricks that they try to do to you. And I think it's ridiculous, and I think standardized tests are ridiculous, but especially at a graduate level, so reading comprehension is something that I've been frustrated with because I'm doing poorly. Not poorly, but, for me, I consider my reading comprehension a level far above what they have assessed me. And it's frustrating because they'll have questions that are like, here's 5 answers, check all that apply, and if you don't check all of them that are correct, then you don't get any credit for it. Or if you check, all of them that are correct and then an extra one, you don't get any credit for it. So, you have to check all of the correct ones and none of the incorrect ones, which is, ridiculous, because I was, I don't remember what I was answering. So I was answering a question that was talked about this blues performer who declared himself the father of blues, and the sentence was many other blues artists blanked his argument because, many people had, performed whatever blues before him, and one of the answers I selected was deconstructed, deconstruct somebody's argument, right? And all the other ones I correctly selected, but it was because you selected deconstructed, you got the whole question wrong, completely, the whole thing. And I'm I could make a pretty good argument for why deconstructed would fit in this sentence. And at a graduate level, especially, I've taken graduate courses even though I'm not in grad school yet, and I know that if you read something in graduate school, you essentially have an entire long semester discussion about it, and it's all about, what I got from it, what you got from it, having this discourse, relating it to other texts that we've read, this recursive, cohesive clusterfuck of stuff and conversation. So to try to quantify that and to try to put it into this answer is objectively correct, this answer is objectively incorrect, it's kind of counterintuitive to the point of graduate school, especially, in the field of that I study, English and stuff, it's totally subjective. So I understand that grad schools want to have a part of your application that is, quantitative and so they don't have to rely completely on trying to memorize every individual, but it doesn't reflect how well I can read or how much information I can obtain from text. And I feel very sorry for anyone who has to take a standardized test. Even taking the SATs to get into college was ridiculous. And I am fortunate in that I went to, sorry the glare on my glasses is so bad, I went to a private school where we were given an SAT prep course, a semester-long SAT prep course with an instructor and homework and tests and quizzes, and they drilled into us, and I did well in the SAT obviously because I had this, but some people don't, and it kind of goes back to this essentially it's whoever can afford to do better. It's not a level playing field, because I had something that would have been a $3,000 or $4,000 prep course essentially for the SAT, and someone who might be much smarter than me didn't, and did more poorly because of that. And it's completely unfair and completely, if the SAT marketed itself as, or if standardized tests in general marketed themselves as we do not assess your intelligence, we assess how well you have learned to take our tests, then maybe I'd get it, because even the process of learning how to take a test specifically can be indicative of how fast a student can pick up certain strategies, etc., whatever. But they don't. And it's all about, if you do this on the standardized test, you're smart. If you don't, you don't. And it's really ridiculous and very frustrating. And I feel like, I have a lot of friends who are teachers who are like, I can't spend time teaching my students effectively because I'm more worried about how they're going to do on their standardized tests. Because the tests reflect on the teachers and reflect on the school as a whole. So the main goal any school has is to have their students' test scores be high. And that completely takes away from actually teaching them anything. You basically have a whole other subject called standardized tests that takes up 80% of their time, you know what I mean? I just think it's ridiculous, and I think standardized tests need to go, or they need to be formatted more effectively and more dynamically than they are. And I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this and your experiences with standardized tests, so please comment them below, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!